dark messenger god with more than 1,000 avatars? Welcome back to Cosmic Horror Beasts and Gods, and in this video we're going to be talking about one of the avatars for Nyarlathotep. Share and comment for more. The Wailing Writher is described as a towering mass of black flesh, constantly swirling and spraying watery black slime from hundreds of drooling and shrieking mouths. Emerging from this horrid column are thousands of rope-like tendrils that whip about, making the whole thing look like a great pillar of black worms. The Wailing Writher is mentioned in some obscure Hindu myths described in Smriti text as Ander Ki Sans, written down by Alavandan Dewan, thought by some to be a pseudonym. The text proposes the Nahari, or the Writher, is the mouthpiece of darkness, who turns men's minds to evil. One earthly cult exists, who honors this avatar's form above all others, and who operate in small groups across Asia and the Middle East. Allegedly, this cult started life in India in the 2nd millennium BCE and later spread outward, enjoying a period of growth and then decline. Now, such groups share little to no contact, each existing in isolation. The cult's memberships wail and shriek during ceremonies, and do the same when engaged in combat, which would seem to be an emulation of their god.
In the Gulf of Cthulhu, in a strange and distant universe, all the worlds and their inhabitants are composed of sound. When able to enter our world, they may take on semi-corporeal shapes looking vaguely reptilian, although they are nothing more than intelligent living sound. The strange entities of Cthulhu worship the outer god Trunimbra, an entity, like themselves, composed of living sound. These sonic creatures are unable to travel outside their universe, though, without the aid of a translator, a special device that must be activated on the world they wish to visit. The 9th volume of The Revelations of Gla'aki contains the plans for building the alien translator device. The denizens of Cthulhu can mentally project messages over incredible distances. Humans pick up these messages as dreams or inner voices. Those receiving the Cthulhuan messages are guided to the strange blueprints contained in the Revelations of Gla'aki, and are instructed to build the device, perhaps believing they will receive some great reward. What purpose these creatures have in accessing other worlds is unknown, although some speculate that they come to feed or perhaps to conquer. From outside our world they come, creatures best described as sentient sound, although at times they seem to take on semi-physical forms that resemble tall, thin figures with blank, pupilless eyes and a skin of blue scales that seem to constantly ripple. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 23, Lurker. These horrors are the children of Yidra. Once human, they have been consumed and rebirthed to serve the will of Yidra. Each is somewhat different in appearance to the next. Some are more like bloated flesh sacks walking about on stunted limbs. Others have a roughly humanoid shape but are clearly not human at all, while some might be mistaken for human. Perhaps the original root of vampire myths, these creatures leech the blood of the living by tearing flesh with sharp, claw-like nails, or else using fangs to puncture their victim's flesh. While solitary lurkers might be encountered, they tend to operate in small groups, secreting themselves near to but out of sight of society. Left to their own devices, lurkers hunt for food and, once sated, retreat and sleep for long periods of time. Each lurker is linked to Yidra and is, practically speaking, an extension of their greater entity. Thus, each may be called upon by Yidra to perform tasks or gather to its aid when desired. Most times, Yidra appears content to create lurkers and allow them free reign to infect human society. No one knows just how many lurkers exist. Aberrant shapes of twisted flesh and bone, molded in nightmare and let loose upon the world. Some were mockeries of humanity, possessing additional limbs or heads, while others might pass for human in dim light. Common to all were their fanged teeth in overlarge mouths, used to bite down on their prey and open savage wounds through which they would suck the blood of the living. If I'm going to let you lead this ritual, I need to feel confident that you are going to handle these incantations properly. You have no idea what can be summoned if you mispronounce or misspeak in the slightest. Boss, I got this. Come on, when's the last time I ever let you down? It's a near daily occurrence. You're terrible, like objectively. Boss, come on, give me a chance to show you that I actually know what I'm doing, alright?
Cthulhu, Inglui, Vatagen, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
Yeah, why not?
No, you fool! Of all the things you could summon, you had to summon!
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to be back here. You guys are gonna love me. It's gonna be so great.
Jeff!
What, boss? He seems pretty cool, right?
What in the hell is this?
He sleeps in your room, he eats half of your food, and when he dies, you're cleaning him up. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 7, Ghoulhounds of Lang. Ghoulhounds are believed to come from the hidden plateau of Lang, where numerous realities are said to coexist, and where the High Priest, not to be described, is said to dwell. Whether the Ghoulhounds have some form of connection to the yellow-masked High Priest is unknown. Some speculate that the hounds were once creatures living on the plateau that have been transformed by proximity to dimensional nexus points, their flesh and forms twisted and ripened by strange wills drifting on cosmic tides. Many argue for an association between the ghoulhounds and a strange cult of human corpse eaters who make the plateau their home, claiming that the hounds are used by the cult to guard sacred locations. Tokens, amulets, and the like, in the shape of ghoulhounds have been found in human graveyards and tombs. These tokens may identify certain crypts or graves that fall within the perceived ownership or protection of the ghoul cult. The tokens are left as a warning to those who would disturb such sites. Certain books advise against the removal of hound-shaped tokens from graves, as to do so invites the hound to seek the grave robber and unleash on them a grisly death. If true, these carvings or hound-shaped moldings are indeed placed to ward away those who would disturb the sleep of the dead. The arrival of a ghoulhound may be noted by the chilling sound of far-off baying and the flapping of great wings. Relentless hunters, ghoulhounds seek out their target, each night drawing closer until they pounce to either rip their prey limb from limb or carry them away to answer for their crimes. The amulet best described the hound's appearance, that of a quadruped with folded wings, crouched and ready to pounce. Its head was repellent, something vaguely canine with enormous fangs and eyes that spoke of an ancient hunger and malignancy. Its skin was furry in places, but in others seemed caked in grave mold or soil. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 8, Death Vines of Zyklotl. A race of intelligent plant things dominates the planet Zyklotl, existing by demanding the sacrifice of the planet's other inhabitants. The death vines cluster in areas of darkness, pits, caves, and so on, thriving on the sustenance they derive from the living sacrifices and other prey they capture. The vines have the ability to lure prey to them by sending out clouds of pollen that confuse and bewilder the senses of those who breathe it in. Able to crawl to find new dwellings in which to make their lairs, they have lightning reflexes in terms of striking out to catch passing prey. These carnivorous horrors reproduce by discharging hard, warty seeds that are about the size of a human skull. The force of discharge is strong enough to propel some of the seeds through the atmosphere and into space. Some seeds may find their way to Earth, or have been carried here by the Shan, insects from Shagai. Seed germination takes around 1 year, although it may be more rapid if the seed has a source of animal nutrients, such as blood or animal remains. The death vine fully matures within 10 months, and can produce seed pods some 6 months after that, occurring about once per year. The tree-like beings worship strange plant entities that dwell in dark holes and caves of Zyklotl. Seemingly of greater intelligence, these evil plants thrive on the sacrifices presented to them, or else seek sustenance by creeping out of their holes to prey upon the Zyklotlans, with their blood-red grasping and hand-like tendrils, feeding flesh into large purple-colored snapping blossoms that sprout from deep green stalks that twist together to form the creatures' bodies. Alien sorcerer scientists from a dead planet, curious beings from the dead planet of Yadith, who fled that world's destruction. Sorceress scientists, the Yadithians are humanoid, with 2 legs and arms, and tapering head possessing a short, trunk-like proboscis. Yadithians fled their home world when their efforts to prevent an infestation of bulls came to naught. Subsequently, they traveled far by means of strange technology, and have shown a particular interest in our solar system, specifically regarding Earth and Mars. Brilliant scientists and powerful wizards, the Yadithians have developed devices known as light wave envelopes, which can convey small groups through space. Some suggest that these survivors are seeking a means to adapt their technology to time travel, which could enable them to go back and stop their homeworld's destruction. The Yadithians wish to exploit ancient magic hidden on Earth and Mars, and it is probable that they are curious about Migo technology, perhaps believing it could prove useful in their quest to become masters of time. Despite their grand schemes, the Yadithians are a highly inquisitive race who are curious about the races they encounter on their travels. On Earth, these scientist sorcerers have conducted bizarre surgical procedures on humans, such as transplanting eyes, limbs, and brains between human subjects, as well as other weird experiments.
Alright, boss, I gotta ask. Why do you hate Jeff so much?
There's a number of reasons, but primarily he's a Shitranak. He's literally a demon made out of shit. Oh, and by the way, in about a week's time, he's going to entirely discorporeate, and he's going to leave behind a massive pile of shit. You get to clean it up.
Guys, I just got the greatest idea, okay? Hear me out. We run a bake sale, and we sell flesh cookies, and we call it a Ghoul Scout cookie sale. Huh?
What the hell is even that?
You're right, he is full of shit. Not full of shit, made of shit. And you're responsible for him.
Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 13, The Million Favored Ones. The crawling chaos is master of the million favored ones, those who shall be called to enact the master's wishes and commands. There are many forms taken, each twisted and corrupted by the touch of Nyarlathotep. Some appear human-seeming, yet dead flesh hangs from their skeletal frames, while others are strange to visage, drawn from the spaces beyond. Common to most are their eyes that are but pinpoints of red, set within black wells, each chosen by Nyarlathotep for his purposes. It is said, when the stars are right and the old ones return to claim what was once theirs, the million favored ones shall gather to form a vast army. The million favored ones are creatures and entities connected with Nyarlathotep, who is known as the father of the million favored ones. It is unlikely that Nyarlathotep is the literal parent of all these entities, although the Outer God has seemingly played some role in their corruption or development. Each are unique beings, or especially powerful, or noted members of their species or race. Many exhibit godlike abilities, though they are neither gods nor great old ones. Being one of the million favored does not necessitate the worship of Nyarlathotep, as many of the favored ones appear to act independently of any Mythos deities. It is written that when the time is right, some form of control or drive will bring the favored ones to Nyarlathotep's call. It is assumed that, before such a time, Nyarlathotep may call on individuals or small groups of the favored to enact certain schemes or whims as befits the Outer God's purpose. On Earth, certain scholars of the Old Ones have witnessed visions of an army of the dead rise and gather to the side of the Black Pharaoh, suggesting that some humans, or at least their corpses, are unwittingly among the favored of Nyarlathotep and will be called upon at the end times. One of the million favored is described in a text as possessing large membranous wings and webbed appendages. The creature's description is confusing to behold, as it appears to be a mass of independent, wriggling and squirming monstrosities, consisting of a, quote, squid-headed thing with a beak, gangling limbs, and a bubbling gob. Given the range of physical possibilities, just one form is profiled below, that of a globular thing able to shoot out limbs ending in sharp pincers, which is said to lurk in the lonely and forgotten backwaters of Green Swamp, North Carolina, USA. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 17, the Neoth Korgai. The Neoth Korgai are a race of spacefaring vampiric entities who journey through the cosmos in an immense and strange-looking spacecraft. They lay dormant within their vessel until they reach a world with inhabitants suitable to their vampiric needs. On arrival at a new world, the Neoth Korgai are able to alter their physicality to resemble the indigenous life forms, able to go about unnoticed so as to target individuals on which to feed. Reports suggest that few Neoth Korgai may dwell on the Earth, having remained here since a visit some ages ago. Neoth Korgai worship the outer god known as Ubosathla, believing it to be the creator of all life, including themselves. As such, they refer to themselves as we of the Ubosathla, or Ubosathlians. Whether these creatures bear some affinity or heritage with the entities known as star vampires is unknown. In its true form, it is something like a black-orange-colored octopus, a bundle of fungoid-like creepers all gathered and joined at one end to a body sac, which is a pulsating mass of glistening flesh, within which is a circular-shaped mouth. Yet, all can assume other forms to blend in with their prey while seeking to bend the will of others to their command.
Damn it, Timmy!
Yo, what's up, boss?
Where is it?
Gonna have to be a bit more specific.
The grimoire! Where is it? You know how dangerous it is.
Ah, right. I let Jeff hold on to it. He said that he was gonna go get some supplies to make those flesh cookies he was talking about. Okay, a few points. Number 1, we are not holding a bake sale. Number 2, flesh cookies are an objectively ridiculous idea. Number 3, why would you ever trust anything of importance with Jeff? He's made of shit. Boss, come on, listen. I know that you don't really seem to like him, but since he's here for now, I mean, we gotta get some use out of him. And plus, he seems to have his stuff together.
Guys, so I got ingredients to make mint chocolate chip and, mint chocolate chip. So,
Jeff, shut up. Where's my grimoire?
What?
Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 16, Spawn of Aboth. Aboth's spawn are numerous and take many forms, each birthed from the Outer God's bulk, and each one unique in form and appearance. They are complex life forms, although some do not appear to be finished, with vestigial limbs and half-formed bodies, while others seem fully realized. Variously, they range in looks from juvenile prehistoric creatures and monstrous mutants to bothersome-looking humanoids and amorphous globs of living flesh. Some can walk or fly, while many simply crawl or glide, slug-like. The majority are simple-minded creatures that act purely on impulse. A few seem to demonstrate intelligence and cunning. Once birthed, many are grabbed by Aboth's tentacles to be reabsorbed, leaving a few to scurry away to dark corners to mature into larger manifestations of horror. Of the maturing ones, some find their way into the world to worry humanity. Others find the angles to be transported to the dreamlands and other dimensions. Many of Aboth's children remain with their sire, tending to its needs. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 26, Vormis. The Vormis are a race of primitive humanoids that dwell in caverns, other forgotten places, and the dreamlands.
Possibly now extinct, rumors persist of isolated tribes existing in the northern hemisphere. These creatures are thought to be the ancestors of the Sasquatch and Yeti, and their mutated cousins have given rise to folklore concerning trolls. Three-toed humanoids, covered in brown or amber-colored fur, who crouch and stand half erect. Their hands end in sharp, talon-like claws, and their faces are canine in aspect. Emitting both guttural cries and sharp, high-pitched shrieks, they are aggressive in nature, cruel, and wish to make war on others. Certain outcast communities are primal or mutated, for these specimens possess muscular figures significantly larger than other Vormis. Indeed, some are monstrously huge.
Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 9, Fire Vampires. Fire vampires are said to be minions of the Great Old One Cthulhu, and, like that entity, dwell on or in the planetary system of the star Fomalhaut in the Pisces Australis constellation. Rarely venturing to Earth of their accord, fire vampires are more likely to be summoned to undertake certain tasks, if bound correctly. Should the presence of Cthulhu be called, that entity arrives with a multitude of attendant fire vampires. Extraterrestrial, fire vampires appear to be intelligent gas or plasma, able to convey themselves through space and planetary atmospheres, but unable to move through water, which can kill them. It was though the stars were falling, shooting downward and ripping through the atmosphere, leaving colorful trails in their wake. Many came in flaming clusters, exploding outward into hundreds or thousands of individual star-like flames, each no larger than a candle flame. These living star flames danced in the air in a mesmerizing fashion. Whatever they touched burst into flame. This strange intelligence was thus displayed, with a method to the madness, as without warning, we were surrounded by a conflagration of heat and fire.
Jeff, hurry up, come on, man, we gotta find the boss's grimoire. Sir, that's gonna be $24.95.
Oh, of course, geez,
Thank you for your payment, sir. Have a nice day.
Jeff, what the hell, man? I had money. You didn't have to fry his brain like that.
Don't be such a little pussy.
Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 18, Cold Ones. Cold Ones seem to only be encountered in regions or seasons of bitter cold, appearing and disappearing into snowy skies or drifts of snow and ice like ghosts. Being only partially immaterial, they cannot pass through solid matter, although may gain entrance through the slimmest of openings. Whether they are a distinct species or the tortured souls of once human worshippers of the Great Old Ones is disputed. Differing accounts hint at vague purpose, with the Cold Ones appearing as messengers, hunters, or omens, depending on the source. All accounts seem to point to the Elidhim as harbingers of woe and doom. Heralded by tortured wails upon the wind, the Elidhim are ghost-like beings, appearing as human-shaped swirling snow and vapor, and manifest in areas of extreme cold. Semi-corporeal, they seep through the smallest of cracks to seek out their prey, although truly secure entrances prevent their access as they are unable to pass through solid materials. These snowy phantoms serve the cold flame known as Afum-Za, and the white worm whom some call Erlim Shakorth, but appear to have little or no association with the windwalker Ithaquah. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 15, Shantax. Shantax brood in cavernous holes within meteors and other bodies among the stars. Able to fly through the vacuum of space, they are sometimes bound by wizards and servants of the outer gods as steeds, conveying their passengers as directed. Said to be noisome and loathly, they are cantankerous beasts who must be kept in check through the proper bindings, lest they unseat and eat their riders. Although limited in intelligence, they are cunning, sometimes when the binding is not complete, ignoring commands and taking their riders directly to the throne of Azathoth. For unknown reasons, Shantax appear to fear night gaunts and will do their best to avoid these faceless flyers. It came down from the stars upon two wings wrought of scales and sinuous skin rather than feathers, encrusted with rime and niter. It was loathsome and elephantine in shape, yet larger than those beasts of Africa. A chimera of sorts, seemingly composed of bird, reptile, and equine aspects. Its horse-like head was scaled and monstrous, and its dark eyes were set within deep pits of flesh. An unearthly steed, bringing its rider, the Chittering One, to treat with us. Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 14, Human Hybrids of Shagai. Born of an egg, at first seeming human, the Shagai develops within. When ready, the last vestige of humanity is left behind, and the flesh is sloughed off in a manner like a spider or snake. Reborn, the true Shagai emerges, a giant wasp-like humanoid insect creature with iridescent skin, multifaceted eyes, a proboscis, and wings. The Shagai are a hybrid race, half human and half Shan. They hatch from a maggot-like egg cell as human babies, continuing to grow and develop as humans until they reach puberty, at which time they molt into enormous humanoid insect-like creatures. In full Shagai form, they are the size of adolescent humans, semi-beetle-like with wings. Frequently, most Shagai in human form do not know their heritage. Throughout childhood, they experience vivid dreams of alien worlds and creatures, and as they near adolescence, their dreams become more horrific and sanity-draining. Such children often become aggressive and destructive, or completely withdrawn. When the time is right for their metamorphosis, these hybrid children have lost all of their sanity and instinctively seek out a safe and hidden place to undergo their final transformation. Following the change, Shagai seek out others of their kind. Usually, Shagai gather to form a hive. Shagai do not possess any of the abilities of their Shan ancestors. They cannot become immaterial and are unable to read or inject thoughts into the minds of others. They derive sustenance through a combination of Shan-like photosynthesis and the consumption of food. Each Shagai hive produces 2 possible queens. At metamorphosis, the queens battle to the death for supremacy over control of the hive. The survivor has total dominance over the rest of her hive mates. Queen Shagai are stronger and more intelligent, although they are usually smaller.
Hey boss, we got some Girl Scouts at the front door, but if you got a moment, I kind of want to talk to you about Jeff. He's kind of becoming more unhinged. Ah, yes, now you're starting to understand why I hate him so much. By the way, you're a Klaatu Barada asshole for dumping him into our laps. You know that, right? Boss, I promise I'm practicing my incantations. But he's frying people's brains for basically no reason. What do we do? I told you, Shitranaks degrade very quickly. The first thing to go is their brains. So basically, literally, his brain has reverted to a pile of shit. And as a Shitranak, a literal demon made of shit, he has access to some very disturbing magics. Wait a second. Didn't you say that there were some Girl Scouts out front? Where's Jeff?
Samosas and Thin Mints for everyone!
Let's talk swinefolk, one of the more underrated monsters in Call of Cthulhu. Swinefolk are backcountry, grotesque human-pig hybrids, generated from dark, disturbing, and twisted rituals, or from generations of isolation and praise to dark outer gods like Shub-Niggurath. And they're not just brainless monsters either. They're smart enough to trap you. They've replaced entire communities if they need to. Conceptually, they play on the fear of losing what makes us human. So the next time your keeper says you hear grunting out in the woods, you probably should run, or don't. I mean, it's Call of Cthulhu. Your sanity is to do with as you please, but by and large, you're just gonna lose it. This is Jesus, and this is Gizguth, Lord of the Deeps. Welcome back to Cosmic Gods. Tomes describe the coming of Gizguth to the earth from a distant and unseen place. It is said that the deity's arrival caused the oceans to boil and tumultuous tidal waves that vexed and destroyed many. Somewhat similar in shape to a meteorite smashing down into the sea. Many presume the Elder Ones had a role in casting Gizguth to earth, like so many of the Old Ones seemingly imprisoned here. The accounts continue, stating that Gizguth sank to the ocean floor and did not stir for 1,000 years, and, on waking, found itself trapped beneath mountains. Given that mention of this deity appears less than others, one may surmise that either it was indeed trapped somehow for many years, or that it takes little interest in the affairs of the planet and its inhabitants, and only makes its presence known to a few on rare occasions. Presumably, this entity remains somehow chained or tethered to the Deep Ones, occasionally rising upward to cause the mysterious disappearances of ships and their crew. One tale suggests that it has come to land at least once, if the accounts from the Mortimer Parks expedition are to be believed. These partial and damaged papers being all that remained of the team, sponsored by Ketchum Parks Industries, that mysteriously disappeared from St. Paul Island in the Indian Ocean in 1903. One theory suggests Gizguth is another avatar of Great Cthulhu, or perhaps another form of the Old One's avatar known as Leviathan. Certainly, idols of an entity seemingly matching Gizguth's appearance have on occasion been found among Deep One trinkets, usually in the form of gold jewelry.
Hey boss, one of the new initiates is plastering up all of the corners in his room. He's really freaking out. Timmy, what did I tell you about vacationing in Tindalos? What, boss? I mean, come on, listen. You spend so much time cleaning out those filthy Shoggoth pits, and you know how they are. They got the best parties. They're with it because it sounds like you better grab a mop and go clean your buddy up. Oh, and by the way, don't touch the blue pile of shit they left on his chest, or else I'm gonna have to clean you up soon too. Boss, really? Wait, how do you know? I was young and foolish too. They do have the best parties. Grab a bucket and some gloves.
Cosmic Horror Bestiary Part 19, Miri Nigri, creatures of Shognar Foggen. They take the form of small humanoids crafted from the corrupt flesh of toads. These servants scurry and strive to fulfill the wishes of their master. Like men, but not men, their features belie their amphibious origins, with cold and bulbous watery eyes. Their skin is slimy, moist, and pockmarked with strange lumps and bulges. They watch with silent mouths. A race of dark, silent, dwarf-like humanoids serving the great old one Shognar Foggen. They tirelessly tend to their alien sire and crawl about the inert form of Shognar Foggen day and night. It is said, twice a year, the great old one sends its slime-coated servants forth into the world to acquire humans, usually young men and women, and return with them to feed their vampiric sire. At other times, the Miri Nigri may be sent or created in situ to undertake specific tasks for their master, which can include establishing dark pacts with other cults or servants of the Mythos. Having no voices, they communicate with their own kind by some form of mental telepathy or subtle facial or body gestures. Generally, these ugly and devious spawn are encountered in groups of 10 or more. Hey Jeff, come on, the boss needs us to go round up some star vampires for dinner.
Okay, I need a tank and a healer over here. Flank them.
What? No, I'm busy. Jeff, come on, those things are really dangerous. You can't leave me hanging here.
Timmy,
Fine. Oh, hey Jeff. What's going on?
boss says you need to go get some star vampires for dinner tonight.
If you're a fan of horror, or if you very specifically like to EA your Cthulhu's Fatagan, do I have something for you. Gautanabe's The Call of Cthulhu. Now, I just recently found this manga series on Amazon, and boy, howdy can I tell you, that Gautanabe just gets H.P. Lovecraft. The artwork is so dark and beautiful and atmospheric. It's really, really well done. And Gautanabe actually has other works, At the Mountains of Madness, Shadow over Innsmouth, all of that. And you bet I'm gonna be getting copies of every single one. Just look at this artwork. Absolutely beautifully done. I give this beautiful tribute to my favorite genre ever, cosmic horror. 10 out of 10 flamboyant cuttlefish. Definitely would lose my madness to it again. And if you like Cthulhu or cosmic horror in general, play with these buttons because I'm gonna keep talking about it. Hey boss, no way. The boss is Necronomicon. Timmy. Oh, boss. Oh man, that was great. Oh no, totally. Anyway, I'm gonna go clean out the shotgun pits. Nah, Timmy, you're gonna go lay down. Enjoy your dreams. The shotguns would eat you right now. Stay away from my Necronomicon.